Hello and welcome to how I play my level 125 Shadow Knight, Shaman, Bard, Beastlord, Mage, and Wizard with all the parses and everything. So we're going to do this video first, and then I'm going to do the guides for each individual character. We are 125 now, as I said. We are low-end 125. Now keep this in mind. As we do this content, so I am in the Gilded Spire. This is arguably one of the harder zones in the game. This specific zone has two named mobs that are like always up. Let me see here. I think Zerek's one of them, and there's another one that paths the other way. And so what we're going to do is we're going to target those mobs. I am currently the only person in at 9:20 a.m. on FV. So I'm hoping to fetch those mobs, unless, like, there he is right there. You can see him, the giant mob. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get him for one of our parses here. Now, I say we're low end. Everybody's in pretty much basic gear except Hobbs. He has Night of Shadows raid gear full set, plus the necklace from Lorian's Song, with no upgrades. So that is kind of like where we're at gear-wise. We're not exactly, you know, heavy hitting here, but definitely something. So let's get up here and see if we can find him. Now, I don't think that one of these dragons does an FD, and I think it's the one at the very top. I don't think it's this guy. So if we can get him in a good spot, we will. There he is right there. I'm just going to tag him and pull him down. I'm going to do deflection. And then I'm going to slow him. And in theory, slow him. Jeez. Oh my god. Oh, there. Well, my slow landed. Stupid, Stupid Shaman is not cooperating with me for some reason. Alright, well, we'll go unslowed here. Alright, so this is pretty much our normal. Yes, you can't really see it right now. There we go. We'll fix the pets here in a second. We'll show this. But we're at 2 million DPS, just spamming 5. This is literally all we're doing. Right now, the pets are obviously pulling some aggro here, which is fantastic. Let's see here. I'm going to drop Mantle. That's what I was looking for before. Let's put Mantle on. Let's try to get a slow off on this guy now. Is my mouse just not working? Let me see here. My boxes are not. Oh, okay. Our whole entire bar is gone. This bar's gone too. What the hell? Button size, show spinner. All right, something happened to their bars. They're all the what you call it's gone there. The multi-bind's still there, so let me see if I can get this fixed real quick. There we go. Path 3. Should have a debuff button. There we go. Alright, well. Something has gone wrong, but this we still do. This is how I play them. I push one button. Let's get the Bard up in melee range. Let's get this going here, right? Now, looks like Hobbs is able to handle this with the pets all taunting off, no problem. Even though this is a little bit higher content. Now, Night of Shadows gear, raid gear is about equivalent to the Uprising tier 3, which is the Outer Brood tier 3. There is more AC. Raid gear, on average, like within the same expansion, has about 33% more stats, if not more than that. So it kind of puts me, you know, a few expansions up to where we need to be to actually do this. All right, you can see here, Gnome Guard's already running low on mana. That's just how he runs. Like you can see here, this is without burns, by the way. This is you know, purely me just trying to figure out why all the debuff buttons are gone on my hotbar. And me slowly going here. Obviously, this is a long fight. This thing has about 1 billion hit points. You can see here we're at 423, 31, 36 million damage done to him so far. But yeah, that's kind of where that goes. We're not going to burn on this one. We'll probably burn on the next one because he does an FD, which is extremely annoying. But this guy is pretty much the best, from what I'm told, the best kind of, you know, mob for evaluating this kind of stuff, right? Let's go ahead and see if we can get these pets fixed because they're annoying me. This one maybe. All right, is that all the pets? There we go. So 20's still like totally in the lead. No problem there at all. And that's honestly to be expected. Gnome Guard's not even on the list. What are you even doing? You have no mana, that's why. Of course. Of course you have no mana, yeah. Dwarf, I don't know. Now, Gnome Guard is a special case because he is wearing pretty much tier 1 gear. Nothing too fancy. But he does not have any updated jewelry, so that is a problem he has that I plan on fixing. I just haven't fixed yet. Now, say Tawani here, she is in full, I think tier 1 gear, but she has all of the tower gear from 125. And she has a raid summoning earring, and she has raid arms. So, Lorien Song raid arms too. Now, you know, kind of throws off the thing, but this is kind of like the low end spec because they have terrible gear, and it's just sad that Gnome Guard's not even showing up on this list. What is going on? Is he just not landing spells? Like, what is going on with him? Like, he has no mana. Just spamming the button. Like, this is ridiculous. Here, let's do this. Let's do a Paragon. Like, he's using his level 125 spells. He's got everything. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. But he's still not there. Yeah, but we're at 774 million damage done. Most of the damage coming from Tawani there. So it's pretty interesting. Now, I was able to get Mercs. I'm getting 550k DPS with Mercs, and that was at 123. I haven't tested them again at 125 with more AAs, and that's another thing. We do not have any A's. This is a fresh, low-end group, right? So that should be, you know, something that's kept in mind there, right? What the hell? They're a freeze. Yeah, let's go spell damage. Reciprocal fire. I don't think his spells are even working. What the hell? I don't see him there. Here. New chat window. That's not what I want. New tab. Filters. Let's see if we can get something on here before this ends. Spell. Alright, never mind, that ended. Alright, let's go find something else, because like something definitely is wrong with that. That is not right. There we go. Let's just send all this to Hobbs and figure it out later. hell is that corpse going? All right, let's look over here. Let's make a, where is he? Let's get rid of this. Let's make a new tab here. Let's call this spell failure is mine. And direct damage mine. And filters spells. Alright, that should be good there. Now let's hide real quick. There might be another named up, I'm not 100% sure. Come on, bring it in. Alright, there we go. So if we pull this up, here we go. Nomergard did 7,000 DPS. Something is definitely going on with Nomergard here. DPS breakdown wizard. Direct damage. Lure of flame. What the hell? Okay, so something went wrong there. Nomergard was doing absolutely nothing. But if we can actually look at this a little bit more. 640 DPS on Tawani's, 507 on Obs. Now, I did not have the Bard or the Beast Lord going because I was encountering some weird issues, right? Like, Nomergard has a debuff button there. Tawani has a debuff button here. It should be doing Mallow, but there didn't seem to be. I had to put that on the bar. Now, for some reason, the Shaman one is on Shift Numpad 3 now. It's like something went wrong there. Let me switch this one to Shift Numpad 3. And I'll shift you to Shift Numpad 3. This is just so weird. Who's this? Stasi? Let's put you on Shift Numpad 3 also. And we're going to fix this live while I make this video. Because this is ridiculous. Alright, let's go find... Let's see. Let's look at the map here. And let's look at tracking. Now, the names are going to be red, most likely, so I think those are not actual names that you can fight. Yeah, the Nafru, Quinn, Lara. So those are the like weakened dragons at the top of the zone. So let's just pop in, like over here. Let's kill this guy. Now, let's get spells going on the Bard. Let's go here to Nomergard. So there we go. He hit it for 1.6 million. You hit it for 86,000. Like I can see the damage on this one. He couldn't land it. Now maybe it was a belly caster and he was just like outside of belly range. Like that could have been a legit issue. Why did they not follow? Oh, I'm not even on the right character. Oh, this video's turned into a disaster, isn't it? All right, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and just keep going. I'm gonna keep going. As I said, we have, you know, we're low end, so we have like none of the AAs or anything like that. I've only done AAs for enough time to get everybody to 125. Which was about a 30% of 124 on some of these characters, as most of the characters were able, you know, hit 125 at the same time, but I think 3 of them were synced and 3 of them were not, so that's kind of how that went. So let's grab this guy. So we pretty much have free reign in the zone right now. There's no one here. And it's a nice zone because we're going to get the bonus damage here from our Bane 1. We do not have all the Hunter yet. I was trying to work on Theater of Eternity Hunter, but it just, you know, nothing was spawning. I got like 2 mobs in the amount of time it took me to get everybody to 125. So that is pretty much how that went, but we're going to pull up the TPS here at the end again and get more information as we go through this, but for the most part, this is how I play the characters, right? I just go in, I hit 5. Everything's bound to 5. It's multi-bind with IS Boxer. I'm pretty transparent about how all this works in all the videos. There's nothing too fancy. I don't use half the features of IS Boxer. I just use the ability to repeat the keys to the same window because I can't heal fast enough on some of this stuff. Maybe when I'm running the warrior, I'll be able to, you know, be able to heal faster. I feel like the Shadow Knight's kind of squishy, but the more I put AAs into him, like say like combat stability and stuff, he just gets stronger and stronger. I'm at like almost 12,000 AC with this raid gear. The raid gear seems to have like 200 AC more than the equivalent group gear in current era. So there's definitely some stuff there going on, but we do have Oriad's Bane, which does give us a little bit of damage bonus. Let's see here, it's 2%, I think, and it scales up to like 5%, I think, maybe 6% with all of it unlocked. So when you finish the Hunter of the expansion, but I don't feel like I'm going to be able to do that before the end of this. There we go. Let's grab the shiny. Why not? What is this guy? A Mount Striker and a Pounder. Let's do 2 at once. I think that'll be a good show of our prowess. Never mind, we got 1. I'm not going to pull 2 if I don't have to. There we go. Let's take a look at tracking here. I don't see anything. I don't see anything red yet, so. Now, up until about 10, like 200, 300 AAs into 125, as I got more of this AA right here, where is it at here? Focus. Click that off. The improved reckless, right? As I got more of that, which increases the healing and fixes the spell casting time, right? As I got more ranks into that, I felt like the shaman was starting to come into his own. I'll talk about more about, you know, that feeling in the shaman video, but I was getting to the point where I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna be able to pull this. Because the shaman I didn't feel like the shaman could keep up. But once I started getting more AAs, the shaman really starts to feel strong. And if you've watched the whole series from start to end, you'll know I've been struggling with the shaman's healing like pretty much from day 1. And it's been extremely annoying dealing with, you know, like not being able to put out the healing output fast enough, right? And that's been a big issue. But I feel like as I start getting more and more AAs into this, it is definitely starting to really come into his own and do the damage that he needs to do to, not damage, but the healing he needs to do to keep me alive. And it's starting to feel better. So that's a very long-winded way of me saying that Shaman's feeling better. But once they get more AAs, their damage will increase. Let me see if I can pull that back up. So if we take out the named, right? So here, this is the average DPS so far of all the encounters. So almost 1 million on Tawani. Hobbs is almost 600,000. No More Guards back up to 515,000. So definitely something was wrong with him during that fight. I don't know what it was. He might not have been close enough. That's the only thing I can think of. Well, it shouldn't matter because they're all in auto follow, so they should have been all with me. I don't know. But we'll do another one here. Now, see, No More Guard has burst damage. Now, I feel like if I could get him get a hold of like the raid, fire, magic, and cold focuses for him, he might really start to shine. I think those would really push him into that next category of just ultimate, destruction. But right now, running him the way I run him, he is out of mana like 90% of the time. The only time he is not out of mana is when I have him sitting on a mount and I'm pulling to him. If I'm doing this crawl style, which the game kind of forces you to do more of later on, it is very frustrating to keep him full of mana. Now, you'll notice that I click these clickies all the time here, right? Like the feather. And like I got the mod rods. Like I have all the support I could possibly need to get him going. But it's just not enough. And the same goes for the Beast Lord mana-wise. Now, I think a lot of this is gear. Like they don't have the full, full gear. Wow, that is so laggy. I haven't rebooted since the hot patch that they did, but it feels like if I got a little bit more gear, it might be better. But this is like some of the gear I'm taking off my other 125s to put onto them, so they have their their tower gear and stuff like that. I haven't done it fully for Nomergard yet, so I don't know if that's gonna pan out the way I think it is. But oh my god, it is not exactly. It's not exactly feeling great on the wizard, and I don't know if that's just the way I'm playing him or what, but the way I'm playing him is the same I'm playing the mage, right? I'm spam nuking all the powerful nukes, and I feel like that should be a viable way of doing it, right? Like I don't feel like it shouldn't be, but you never know. Now this room sucks. You have to pretty much go through here invisible. Otherwise you get all kinds of junk. I'm not even gonna bother trying to clear this. Let me turn off invis. Helps turn my. I don't know why they don't turn off attack when I in combat. It just makes no sense. I guess just turns off combat half the time on most of these things, but not that. All right, so if I'm not mistaken, these eyes see invis. So we're gonna have a few theoretically. So we need to. Oh god, there's the name too. So there's the named what we're looking for. What is his name? I don't even know. Keep targeting a pet. So we're gonna have to like run up there. He's just like he's just right outside the range of my ability to click him for some reason. There he is. Mural. Alright, so that's the named. That's what we're gonna try to kill, but we have to get past these eyes first, and I don't think because he does a feign death if I'm not mistaken on this one. I've killed him with Holdridge, I believe, but we're gonna get that ad when we attack this eye. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to rush this one over here so we can go up behind the named. But we just got to give it a few seconds to get past us. And then we'll probably have to fight this thing, but I can take two at a time. That's no big deal. Let's check their AAs. Now, I'll talk about all the AAs I focus on in the individual video, so it's where it's going to be, but it's definitely interesting choices I'm making because I focus on specific things for the character that I'm playing versus what maybe somebody would realistically want to do. So let's just run right up here. Let's tag that thing. And we should be good. Didn't get the ad. All right, so yeah, like I do some of their AAs very specifically to focus on certain things for each of the characters, and it might not be the right choice for like a single character or less than 6, but I honestly canceled the accounts on Stasi, Viva, and Zarog because I'm moving to 3 characters. instead of 6. So those characters are not going to be going forward, and that'll be there probably won't be 125 videos for them. That's why I'm remaking them. The Bard on Tawani and a healer on I don't feel like this is a good spot, but there we go. Let's just pull him right here. All right. Shift numpad 3, shield flash. All right, now he's slowed. Now they're functioning. Let's take a look at Nomergard here. Reciprocal fire, 2.8 million. All right, we're back in. We're rocking now. Let's get the Bard in a position that's a little better. There's the Beast Lord. Let's move her right there. That's the Beast Lord, so you gotta stand up on the character. I'm just trying to spread them out so I can see who's who. And then right there. All right. Takes a little work getting that set up, but the mob is ping-ponging around because he's attacking the pets that are taunting. And I still use that method of lowering the damage on Hobbs because it feels like there's situations where I'll absolutely be destroyed, and it's just fairly best idea I could possibly do. Now this guy is gonna have 1 billion hit points too. We're gonna click on some burns here in just a second once we get. Let's just do it now. Let's just burn everything here. I don't think it really matters. You know, they don't have as much mana as I'd like, but let's see here. I'm gonna Druzzle of Harvest on you. Stand you back up. There we go. I don't know if their burn's gonna be that great since I didn't really wait for mana or anything, but it's really not going to be much more than what they already do, in all honesty. You see the Beast Lord's kind of going up a little bit, but I think somebody's feigned death. Keeps feigned deathing the Shaman. Feigned death. It's not a very good mob for burning on. So make sure all that's going. It's hard to, especially with 6 characters, it's hard to see everything that's going on each one of them. I wish the DPS meter would stay up. I need to turn you. I don't know what you're doing, but let's get you like right inside him. I think that's kind of like the issue. And I think that's good. Let's get that on there. So yeah, we're at what, 3.3 million DPS for the group. With Nomergard coming in second right now. It's kind of probably where it should be, right? That's what I would expect the ranking to be. The numbers, I think the bar should be a little higher, in all honesty. I've had issues with the Bard, and we can talk about that in the Bard video for details, but I think on one of the comments someone told me to run more insults, and I got rid of all the chants. I did all insults, and I was out of mana in the first fight. Like, it was just not a viable option for me. And so I prefer the chants, but she doesn't have all the AAs, so her damage is significantly lower. But her damage will fare better on these longer fights that we're going to start having in the, this expansion and beyond. Because they are such long fights, the dots are kind of really good. It might be viable to have, you know, a necromancer even, you know, doing dots in a group, but I know I'm not willing to waste my time trying it right now. Especially in you know, when I have everything set on a multi-bind, right? And there we go. Let's see here, the final. That was about 900 million on that one. 3.1 DPS, 3.1 million DPS. What do we get on him? We got a range item, a spell, some crab meat, and some gloves. There we go. Just loot all that just so we can have it. Not too bad. Like the shaman, I wasn't doing any DPS on. That's just pet DPS, I believe. So we'll just keep killing stuff here. Let's see here. Let's go over here. There's like 2 of them in there. Let's see what happens if I pull them. I don't think I've ever pulled these guys. They just teleport. That's what happens. All right, let's get this, because apparently my guys are not on follow. Now, I think you just saw something amazing, and that was a Shadow Knight pet off tanking a even con level 125 mob. I would not have believed it if I did not see it myself. So definitely worth having that pet out at pretty much all times. Now I pretty much hit this Phoenix feather at all times now. It's pretty much anytime it's down, I cycle through one of the characters to click it. It works as a mini Paragon, if you will, but anything that gets mana back to the group is really what I need to do. You can see there, everybody's out of mod rod, so I summon one, and like that. So it's get that on there. Now, realistically, I should probably med more. Now, it's just not how I play. Like I can't be bothered to stop moving, and this group I don't think really fits that bill. I was hoping the Beast Lord Paragon would be a little bit stronger for me. And, you know, I'm not saying it's not strong, and I don't have it fully maxed out AA wise, but it's just not pushing the level that I need to be able to non-stop fight. And that was the same problem I had in my 3 mage group. Like, it was unplayable. Pretty much this. Out of mana the entire time. Now, Tawani, on the other hand, she's got a little while to go before she runs out of mana. Because of her gear is a little bit better. But it's definitely one of those things you gotta, like, really think about when you build your group composition and design it out, that you have the sustain and you have the durability for longer fights. And I think that when I first started this series, I had 2 mages. Nomergard was a mage, and Tawani, yeah, Tawani was a mage, and then someone asked for a wizard, so we did the wizard. I like the wizard, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it'd be better served with another mage, in all honesty, for the amount of effort that is, you know, involved in this. There we go. We got 2. So here's a 2 for 1. So you can see we take huge hits with 2, right? Smashed. We're hitting, you know, 58k hits on this content, 61k. So it's pretty hard hitting mobs, right? But we're able to, you know, pretty much handle it. Now, the name mobs aren't going to be up for like 2 hours, and I'm not going to do another video on, or another run through on them at this point. So my plan is to do an update video at probably after Extra Life, because I do plan on, like, I think most of these characters are good through Extra Life. I think the 3 that I canceled, they end in March. So they're not going to get continued in the next series that we're going to start after we do all these setup videos, but I do plan on playing them during Extra Life to max out their AAs before they go free to play, because in March, when they become free to play, I want to try out what happens when you have a free to play shaman at 130, right? We're gonna buy it. We'll buy Zarog the expansion, and maybe pop a chrono so we can max his AA out if he's still needs it, and we'll see how a free-to-play character runs in a group with non-free-to-play characters, right? So a lot of people tell me I can have a shaman fully free-to-play and it's going to be completely viable. And I think once I take off all the Augs, I literally put on Augs on him and he gained like 100,000 hit points. Like, I just don't see how that is going to be viable, because he can't wear any of those Augs as a free-to-play healer, right? So there's a lot of little interesting things we're going to see. I plan on doing that, and we're going to do that with the Beast Lord and the Bard. So they're not going to be in the next series, but we're going to pull them back up before the next expansion launches to kind of see them in action, and maybe probably in the next expansion, just depends. But they're not going to be a part of the next group. All right. I think this is a good spot to pretty much end it, though. Let's take a look at the numbers. Let's biz just in case. Actually, let's not stand right here. I feel like that would be dumb. Let's stand like right here. Let's make your attack off, and it is. All right. Let's look at the numbers and see kind of where we were throughout this whole video, right? So overall, even with the flubs on the first mob, because I don't know what Gnome Regard was doing, Tawani was at 890 KDPS overall, Hobbs at 504, Stasi at 450, Gnome Regard at 460. Now, if we take out that first fight, you can see here, Gnome Regard goes up to 532, Tawani goes up to 1,000,000 DPS. And that's with the one burn on the Morelia here versus anything else. So definitely interesting. If we take out the named, because those are just long fights, right? Now this is just the trash. Maybe take out these inactive things just in case they change the numbers here. But here we go. Tawani at 943 on average DPS on normal mobs, and that's about. I feel like that's about right. Hobbs at 538. He's got the high, the 20s, 125 now. So he's got the max level damage shield, and I believe that's really attributing a lot of damage here. If we look at his damage and DPS breakdown, Shadow Knight. Well, no, it's only 2% of his damage shield, so that's actually pretty nice to see. You can see here most of his damage comes from his melee. From his slashing. It doesn't really come from the spells that I spam cast. It doesn't come from the dots. It comes from the melee. So that's good to know. Let's see here. Let's look at Tawani's DPS. So the majority of the damage looks to be coming from her swarm pet, ravaging, or whatever. What the hell is it called now? It's got a new name. Click. Ravening Servant, right? So that's where the majority of her damage comes from, and I would assume that also includes the host of elements swarm pets also in that damage. So swarm pets, let's just say, is the majority of her damage. Then the rest comes from her spells. Let's look at that, break that down. Magician. So let's see here. Slashes. That's the pets. Let's see here. Direct damage, full SID of the mini, that's the pet nuke, really. 82 million. So it's not too bad. 43% of her direct damage is that. So the other one's not so much. So, it's just good to see these numbers. Now, no regard, we did have that kerfuffle on the beginning. But the majority of his damage comes directly from his damage, not the little swarm pet thing that he makes. So that's good to know. That'd be weird otherwise. Break this down into his damage versus procs. 16% of his damage comes from procs. Now these are the pyromancy, cryomancy, and the other wizard procs that come on. Now some of these can be taken advantage if you're playing a single character. You can be like, oh, I need to switch to an ice nuke, and you can do some things like that to get more damage out of it. But you know, obviously, I'm not doing any of that. Ethereal Freeze seems to be his highest, damaging spell here. That's, I believe, the current level, like Ice Comet version, whereas that's the current level, like conflagration line, right? And then these are the AA ones that now Ice, I believe, is the only one I've upgraded. So you can kind of see there. Those also play synergy with these Pyromancy and Chiromancy, because I believe they are triggering those when they go off and stuff like that. Now, it doesn't show like the synergy interaction, but I am getting extra damage from synergies because the Bard does have synergies, and I have been focusing on the Bard's synergy AA to get that damage up to increase everybody's damage, but it's just not high enough yet. So I do have this magic nuke in here, and that's just so I could trigger all the different synergies and stuff like that. I have ice to trigger the Beast Lord synergy, I believe it was. I think is the Beast Lord has the ice one. The Mage has the fire one, and I think the Wizard had the non-fire one. I can't remember. But definitely interesting there. Now on this other fight here, like we look at this, this is where I burned, but I didn't have any mana, right? So Tawani's, off the top of the DPS, she excelled because she's always got mana, and she's always doing DPS, because the majority of her DPS comes from a pet summon. And her normal summon pet, I use the air pet. I plan on switching to the water pet at some point. I hear good things about that. It's only 6% of her damage overall, right? It does take hits off me, so to that advantage, I feel like it's a pretty good thing to have. Now the Bard, she's just low end. Like, she has low end gear, she has low end AA, she has low end everything. I think at max AA with better gear, I think this number would be closer to in the 500 to 600k damage range. I think that's something we'll see in the next series where I do Warrior, Bard, Cleric. I think we'll see the Bard damage increase significantly when we get to 125, as I'll be trying to make sure that she is fully kitted out in tier 3 gear, group gear, whereas I just, I'm canceling the account. I didn't feel like gearing it out anymore. And then Beast Lord, obviously I don't play the Beast Lord to the proper spec that you would need to, because you need to do, a lot of dots and stuff. And I just don't do any of that because it's just hard to multi-bind something like that. Now I do have like 1 or 2 dots in there because they're a spammable dot, right? I can spam it and I can still get damage out of it. But I'm not really pushing it that hard there. I think if I was playing the Beast Lord as the main, I could definitely increase this damage, to closer to like Tawani's damage, at least beating Norm here. It just depends on a lot of factors there. I've seen raid geared Beast Lords do, I think it was like 2.5 million damage in a burn, and stuff like that. So maybe even higher. I'd have to ask him what his burn DPS was. But he, seeing those kind of numbers versus this, you might be disappointed. But I have the Beast Lord for utility in my group. Otherwise, I would probably have taken all mages. I feel like that is the best, multi-bind boxing group is all mages, but your mileage will vary. But there we go. So let's go ahead and end it. And thank you for watching. If you got past the kerfuffle at the beginning where none of the buttons were on the bar for some reason, I'm glad you stayed around. But if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Following this video, over the next few days, all the rest of the class guides for each of these classes at 125 will be released. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.